Welcome to Be the Boss of Your Money. I'm Mitch Goldberg. I'm a financial advisor with over 30 years of experience. I own and operate a financial planning, investment, and wealth management firm. I do it all. It's called Client First Strategy, named after you, the client. That's what it's all about. I do these live streams because I just enjoy them. I enjoy them a lot. I just think it's a lot of fun. I love teaching. I love interacting. You put it all together, it's just a great combination. So we're talking about personal finance every Monday through Thursday at 4:30. I hope you'll join me. We're going down a journey. I'm talking to you about things that you might not know about, or things that you may have missed, or things that you should know more about. There are also a lot of new things: taxes, regulations, IRA rules, distribution rules. There are so many things going on here, and I want to be your guy, your fill-in for what you need to know. It's not just about investing. It's about planning, retirement income, passive income, okay, financial planning, investment strategies, sell strategies. There's a lot that goes into managing a client relationship. And I take 31 years of doing this and I bring it to you. The lessons I've learned from the mistakes of others, the lessons that I've learned from my own mistakes. And I bring it to you so that you can have the benefit of the past to help you move forward. That's what this is about. So we're going to roll the quick intro. We've got some personal finance things to talk about, including the age for RMDs, required minimum distribution. Some people a little bit confused about that. We're going to clear it up directly with the IRS. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, other crypto, gaming stocks. These are the questions that I get asked, and I'm a little, I'm not thrilled with I enjoy the conversation, but I'm not thrilled with the answers. So I'll tell you exactly what I mean. We're going to roll the intro. We're going to get into this. This is important stuff. It's the stuff that everybody wants to know about. Here we go. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. If you're just clicking on now, this is Be the Boss of Your Money. It's my live stream. I do this daily, Monday through Thursday. Personal finance, so you could become the boss of your money. I know that sounds, clever and cute. Be the boss of your money. It's like, definitely sounds like, an Instagram page. But it's true. And it's very easy for your money to become the boss of you. It's very easy to lose control of money. And we're pulled and pushed and pulled in so many different directions, and social media engineering. And look, I'm not anti-commerce, but I'm just saying that it's harder than ever to actually be in control of your financial situation. This is why there are so many people having debt issues and other issues, and making poor investment decisions, because people get caught up with greed, with fear, and with ignorance through no fault of their own. That's what we clear up here. So I'm going to start by saying something I never say. I'm pissed. I'm really pretty pissed off. By the way, if you're watching this right now in the live, you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. If you're watching this in the replay, questions, please. I'd love to answer them. I'll get the alert. I'll see the notification. I'll get back to you. Bitcoin and other crypto is all the rage. And due to various rules and regulations, I don't feel that I can properly guide my clients through the the field. Maybe you could call it the minefield of what crypto is. Is it money? Is it, does it meet the definition of currency? It's tough to say. I could tell you that Tesla put $1.5 billion into Bitcoin. Now, for a company as large as Tesla with their market cap, $1.5 billion ain't a whole hell of a lot to put up. They had about $19 billion in cash, so $1.5 billion out of $19 billion. That's a pretty significant amount. I suppose Musk could always sell it. I wonder, if Tesla sold their Bitcoin, what would happen to the price of Bitcoin? Presumably, they bought it so that they could make it easier to transact in crypto. Okay, so what the point I'm making is, I can speak with you philosophically and practically about crypto. I can't give you the recommendation though, like, hey, you should buy, you like. I hate when I hit the arm of my mic. I can't say like you should buy crypto, and you shouldn't, and you should, and you shouldn't, and you should. I love going back and forth with the cameras like that. But seriously, there are regulatory issues, requirements, and I don't really have any pure plays to recommend. And the SEC hasn't approved a Bitcoin ETF yet. In the meantime, I feel like the horse is out of the barn. And you have all these people on YouTube and other social media platforms, video platforms, whatever. They're all talking about it, giving their advice, their point of view. In the meantime, I have a securities license. I'm a registered investment advisor representative as well. I have fiduciary responsibilities. I have brokerage account responsibilities. My clients trust me, and yet I can't be specific about it, and that kills me. But the philosophical discussion does bear speaking about. I think there's a strong desire for something with a finite amount of something. Like there's an unlimited amount of dollars, and the Federal Reserve they are able to print an unlimited amount of dollars. And then Congress can put out a stimulus plan for $2 trillion, which, by the way, I'm actually in favor of that right now. Okay. I wish Congress had done more over the summer when the 10-year Treasury was about 0.4%, 0.5%. And that's the biggest story of the day today. The 10-year Treasury hit 1.3%. We're not talking about 0.5% anymore. We're a lot of people still think, oh, interest rates are so low, the 10-year Treasury is 0.5%. No, it's getting pretty close to 1.5%. I think today it hit something like 1.35, 1.4%. So interest rates are starting to move. We have to talk about how that impacts the price of the most, high flying stocks. But back to the Bitcoin, I think part of the thing about Bitcoin is that there's so much money sloshing around, and investors are looking for a return, that money is finding its way into the speculative parts of the stock market. That's what some people consider bubblicious about a rally. What else can you say about Bitcoin? It's not a full-fledged currency. It fluctuates too much. I mean, if you sell somebody something for $100,000 in Bitcoin, and an hour later Bitcoin drops by 20%, who's responsible for that quick loss? You sold it to somebody gave you Bitcoin. Now you've got to convert that Bitcoin into dollars real fast, because you don't want Bitcoin to drop. Or maybe you want to hold on to the Bitcoin because you expect it to go up even more. But now are you transacting business to buy and sell, or to sell things to get a profit, to earn a profit? Or are you selling things? Are you selling a car like Tesla for $90,000 for Bitcoin for business to earn a profit, or are they selling the car to really not? They're more like exchanging the car for Bitcoin because Bitcoin can go up. And how many people are there that are actually going to transact business with crypto? Ultimately, the IRS does not accept crypto as payment. So ultimately, what makes money in the United States money and in the developed world is that you have to pay your taxes with US dollars. Okay, that's what makes currency, that's what makes the dollar our currency, because we have to pay our taxes in dollars. So, but people want something with a finite amount. Now you could say, well, if the Fed can print unlimited dollars and my whole net worth is in dollars, my house is priced in dollars, my stock account is priced in dollars, everything is priced in dollars, and you just keep printing more dollars, well, what's going to happen? My dollars start to become worth less. But if you own assets, it'll take more money to buy those assets, so at least you'll make money from that. That's called inflation, by the way. Let's say you have a $100,000 diamond, and now the money, is printed and printed and printed. It doesn't make your diamond worth less. It just means that it'll take $110,000 maybe for the same diamond because the dollar is worth less. So that's just going with Bitcoin. But the only ways to get into Bitcoin now for a lot of people, well, so the only way I could get my clients involved with it is through companies like PayPal and Tesla and MasterCard. There are some banks like Bank of New York, I understand, they own Pershing, my clearing firm, and they're going to start custodying, I think that's the right word, custodying crypto. So maybe that'll change. So I'm a little miffed. So that's my my little tear about not being able to guide you in Bitcoin, other than having a philosophical discussion. It is speculative. Don't put money into it. Don't put money into it that you can't afford to lose. Okay. But then people who believe in Bitcoin will say, yeah, but everything else is priced in dollars. I'm not really that worried about the dollar collapsing. There are still plenty of things that the Federal Reserve can do to pull dollars out of the market. They could stop buying bonds. They could sell bonds. The Fed has a massive balance sheet. They could raise interest rates. So that's I'm not really worried so much about dollar debasement as I am about crypto becoming a multi-trillion-dollar entity, all combined. And if something happens with a multi-trillion-dollar entity, could that spill over into the real economy? Okay, so there's my rant on Bitcoin. Now let's talk about these things. Is it too late to buy Bitcoin? And that's a question I had with a client who's a friend of mine last night. Should she buy it? And I had to say, I really can't tell you to buy it or not to buy it. You'll have to Google it. And she said, well, she looked up Coinbase, which is a firm that it's an online firm that you could buy and sell crypto. You could do it on other platforms as well. I said, it's got it. At this point, I think people are buying crypto because of FOMO, fear of missing out, and they see it going up. So there must be something to it. I still think in the back of my mind that there's something I'm missing because I still don't think it's money. It's kind of like gold. If you're using like a little chip of gold and you're going to go to the store and buy milk because the dollar's become worthless, I don't think that's going to be possible anyway. I mean, I don't think we're going to actually start using scraping off little chips of gold off a gold bar while we're walking around Main Street to go shopping. If that's the case, our society basically would cease to exist. So this is like philosophical stuff, but I wish I could say more. But I could tell you this: Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto, we don't even know if these are the right coins that are going to be around in 10 or 15 years. It reminds me of internet stocks, where there were so many internet stocks, but you didn't know which internet stock in the year 2000 would be the ones to work. And believe me, back in 2000, like you could say, well, obviously Amazon was the one that worked. eBay worked okay. PayPal worked okay. It's easy to say that now, but in 2000, when Amazon went from like over 100 down to like a single digit stock, and they were selling books, and I remember Barron's had on the front cover of Barron's Amazon.bomb instead of Amazon.com. It wasn't so obvious that Amazon would become a winner. In fact, Jeff Bezos famously told his parents when they invested in his company, Amazon, he told them, "Mom, Dad, you'll probably lose all of your investment on this." Okay, which is a pretty good warning to give to your parents, right? So it's not always obvious. Maybe it'll be Bitcoin, maybe it'll be something else. So we have somebody out there. Ron is out there. I'm going to try to fit. Yeah, we can fit that whole thing. I see today that Tesla and Twitter are looking into paying staff in Bitcoin. Currencies up until now have had their value set by decree. Is this kite flying? Elon Musk tweeted at the time that he bought a right chunk of Bitcoin this last fall. By the way, Ron, I want to thank you for sending me those messages on Facebook and giving me the ideas of how to end my live stream with something other than just going dark and whatever. And I have to look at those. Thank you very much. It's been a little crazy here the last few days. So do you think there could be a destabilizing effect on the horizon if the smart money is going on the smart tech? By attempting to give power back to the people, is Elon Musk the man who sold or changed the world? I think Elon Musk has already changed the world, because whatever we thought as humans that we could do, he is someone who's come out and said, you can do more. It's like you could do a lot more. I mean, the rockets he sends up, it's just incredible. I don't know about giving to the people. If, first of all, crypto has to be on a balance sheet. When a company like Tesla buys Bitcoin, it goes on their balance sheet. What's cool is if Tesla decreases in value, because they put it on their balance sheet as a non-performing or I forget the exact term. Let's call it a non-performing asset. But if Tesla goes down, Tesla could take that decline and write it off against earnings and not have to show losses using that and not have to pay taxes. If it goes up, they don't have to say that's a gain, but they could say they have an increase in assets. But they have to report it. It's on the balance sheet. And by the way, Bitcoin is taxable. If you make money on Bitcoin, you're supposed to report it to the IRS and pay taxes on it. So I don't know if this is necessarily giving power back to the people, but I do know that people are looking for something without government interference that they could call their own, that they could have without Big Brother watching over what they're doing. And I think that is a very significant thing. Part of this goes to the whole thing that happened with GameStop, if you recall, when Robinhood shut down or limited severely trading in GameStop stock. You saw how people reacted. It's like, who the hell are you to tell me if I can't trade or buy or sell something and transact business the way I want? So I think there's a clamoring for that, and I think there's for the freedom of business, and without intervention. I also know that there was a time before a lot of the securities laws of the day that there were a lot of shills pushing crap, making up stories, selling imaginary stocks of companies that never existed. And, that's why registered investment advisors have so many rules. That's why brokerages have so many rules. That's why we have FINRA, okay, that oversees most financial advisors and brokers and the industry. So that's why we have an SEC. So the rules do serve a purpose, because without the rules, people could be selling a lot of stuff that doesn't even exist. This is why I have to always say, you have to be careful who you speak to. Last week, we saw pot stocks shoot up on Wall Street on the news that Wall Street Bets on Reddit is getting into pot stocks, and then the next day they come back down. Was somebody in these stocks already, and then they talk up the stock, and then retail investors get excited about it, and it's a pump and dump scheme? We have to find this out, and if the regulators stop this, then people will say they're stopping us from making money. It's not fair. They don't do this to the big guys. But if they don't stop it, and the little guy, the retail client, which my clients are the retail clients, if they get screwed, then it's, why didn't the SEC and FINRA, the other regulatory bodies, why didn't they do something about this to head it off? And things like the short squeezes in GameStop and what's happening with Bitcoin, gaming stocks, and SPACs. There's so many things going on, and things are moving so quickly. I don't think the regulators are keeping up. I don't think they could, because you have to take a deep dive into this stuff. By the way, Ron, thank you very much. The third camera was something I've been dying to do. And, it just gives you a little behind the scenes look. You see right here is my 810 Mini, my mixer. And I just go right back to camera one like that. And it just gives you a quick. Camera 3 is something you kind of pop into the live stream a little bit here and there. It's not really something that's meant to be like any lengthy part. It's really the camera 1. And then I like to make a point or answer a question in camera 2. Okay. So I think there's so much going on that regulators are having trouble addressing these issues in a deep way. No one really knows what to make. No one really knows what to make of crypto yet. Yes, there are bulls who know what to make of it. They love it. They buy it. And there are bears, and they hate it, and they don't think it should be in it. Maybe it's somewhere in between. But where am I going with this? I'm kind of just giving you the lay of the land, that things have changed. Elon Musk has changed the world, yes. But I don't, crypto in a way is it's a great way of saying it's giving power back to the people. Is it a good power? I really can't tell you. Is Bitcoin like the old shell game, just FOMO and one person paying more for it than the next? I'm going to give you an example. My son, he's in 9th grade, and he's a big gamer. He's just a major league gamer. He built his own gaming PC, and we're very proud of him for that. And he makes in-game purchases, for tools or coins, whatever. And these are real money, $5, $10, $15 for things, sometimes less, sometimes more. And the value of these things goes up. $500, $1,000, $1,500 that you could sell them for. I mean, think about that. These are in-game purchases for things that make the game a little bit more enjoyable. So the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But if somebody's willing to pay for something, and you have a code that makes it yours, that makes it identifiable, and if you sell it to somebody else, it happens instantaneously. There's a code that everybody sees in their own coins and in the game, that this coins in the game, these little in-house gold coins, were sold from him to somebody else. And now that person owns them. And that reminds me a lot of crypto, because it's legit. It's these people see value in it, and you could trace it, when there's a transaction. But the Bitcoin is a little bit more, from what I'm learning, is more traceable than people actually think. So if I was to say I have a Mickey Mantle baseball card, and I've got like a rookie card and it's worth a lot of money, I could make a photocopy of it, make a replica, and give the replica away. Does it change the value of the original? No, because the original is always the original. So if you have like an image on the internet, a digital image of LeBron James shooting hoops or something, a really cool image, whether if it's a video or just a picture, and other people can copy it on the internet and send it around social media, you have the original digital imagery that's coded with blockchain and everything else that makes it legit. Does it make your digital picture worth less because everybody else is copying it? No, because people like to have an original. So an original, authentic digital asset like the coins and the tools that my son buys in his game, whether if you see it or not, those digital assets are real assets. Now, what if my son needed a shovel for his game outside and a pickaxe? I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not into buying my kids pickaxes. But if you needed stuff for a game, or let's say you play baseball, you needed to buy a new mitt, a new baseball bat, a new uniform. There, you have to pay for those. They're worth something. They cost money. But what if you needed you're playing a digital baseball game and you need a new bat for your digital baseball game and you paid $10 for the bat? It's worth something to the people who are playing. So as more people are playing in the Bitcoin arena, I think that's what eventually will make it more worthwhile. Gold is not acceptable currency in this country, but people trade gold on the COMEX. People could trade gold between each other. People could make purchases with gold, or at least you could liquidate your gold, turn it into cash, and give the cash to somebody else. And gold does fluctuate up and down a little bit. So I could see how something could become a currency if enough people believe in it. And then we have to see if the regulatory regime gets involved and how it gets involved. That's the case for buying Bitcoin. Okay, so we're running a little bit longer than I thought. Is it too late to get into like the gaming stocks like Penn National and SPACs and other things like that? I think at this point there's these are mostly legitimate companies. You have to be willing to take that kind of risk. These are aggressive, I'd say risky, speculative. What I learned about SPACs, though, is SPACs is not just a fad. SPACs are the new way of going into an IPO. So remember in the 90s and the 2000s, you love getting an IPO because, you get a stock at 20, it goes to 80, you could sell it. That's what SPACs are today. And I don't see, there was an article over the weekend in CBC that said, SPACs used to be like a joke in Silicon Valley, right? They were a joke. Now they're very serious. There's an ETF, SPAK. I've spoken about it before in the show. I'm going to take a deeper dive into that because I think almost half of it are SPACs that haven't made an acquisition yet. A SPAC goes public, it's $10 a share. They raise a certain amount of money. They find an acquisition target. Could be a lot more money than what the SPAC has, but then they raise money, they buy stock, they issue, and they, anyway, the point they say, here, we're a SPAC. Now we're changing our name and we're listing a different way in the exchange, and all of a sudden the stock is up. There's a little bit of alchemy and a little bit of magic to it, but it's working. So that's something I'm going to take a very serious look at. I don't have any, by the way. It's not something that I have, and I don't own any Bitcoin either, regretfully. Who knows? I have to do what's best for me and within my risk tolerance. Maybe I'm being a little overly, maybe I'm over intellectualizing the case of Bitcoin. I don't know. But when I give you the example of my son and his digital assets in his games, that makes me put it in perspective that it doesn't matter if you don't value Bitcoin or not. The people who are playing in the Bitcoin arena value it. And when companies like PayPal and Tesla and MasterCard, one way or another, get involved with it, well, I think their opinion counts, which is why Bitcoin, by the way, went from like 30,000 to 50,000 because of the legitimacy that it gets from these big players. Okay, so a couple more comments out there. Hey, Phil, how are you, man? Sunny South Florida. I am so jealous. So jealous. I hope you're having a wonderful time. And I look forward to visiting you there too, by the way. I don't know if you're there permanently. I mean, you're not there permanently at this point, but whatever. Enjoy, my friend. And thank you for enjoying the conversation. I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. Ron, you're talking IP. You own your new promo videos, but anyone can copy it unless you obtain commercial copyright or a trademark. Absolutely. Listen, intellectual property is everything in our society today with all the digital assets. And you think of the battle between Netflix and Disney Plus. It's all about digital assets. And people taking a camera and going to the movies and like holding the camera like this to record the movie and then sell it and bootleg it. I mean, boy, it's tough. It's tough to protect against counterfeiting. That's happens a lot. Thank you so much. I'll be back tomorrow with a hopefully more developed conversation and actionable things to talk about. Have a very good rest of your day.